Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and this episode I'm going to be reviewing my second Gaslands build. I gotta tell you, I'm really digging this. I love being able to just have a lot of flexibility when it comes to customizing. If you were following the channel at all or watched any of my other videos, this one was my first attempt. I didn't really have the materials I needed to make it look a little bit better. It's a little too shiny for me. I'm probably going to go back and, now that I get some of my stuff, make it a little bit better. Take the edge off. But this was a 71 GTX, and like I said, I didn't really have a lot of the stuff I needed, so it came out pretty good. So this is the AristoRAT, and apparently it's one of the more popular Gasland style cars. I believe it's in the book. I don't know what page it's on, but this seems to be one of the more popular cars to customize. And so what I did, I took, first off, is I disassembled the car, drilled out the rivets or the posts, and these wheels came from the Marvel series Hot Wheels Ant-Man car, which is going to be the most god-awful ugly casting ever. So it worked out good, and the reason I took these, aside from the tread, was it had this, well, right now it's kind of faded out, a red bead ring around the outside. And I knew I was going to paint the car a shade of red, so I just thought it was going to be good. You know, it wasn't irrelevant, you know, totally, I'd like to say I completely thought it out, but I didn't. It was just, a lot of these I just kind of wing. But it worked out good at the end anyways. So what I did is, after I disassembled it, if you've ever seen the original car, the motor is supposed to be in the back somewhere, and it's got a bug catcher, a scoop coming out the top. And so what I did is I cut those off, and I ended up picking up a set off of eBay of guns and weapons and stuff. I believe it's for Lego or some crap like that. Most of the stuff is a little out of scale. But this kind of worked out good. So what I did is I drilled the hole. I kind of shaved off the scoop because it sits out of the rooftop. So I shaved it down, and then I used a piece of plastic tubing, and I glued that in there after I drilled the hole, and it allowed me to mount this gun on there. And it worked out pretty good. The other thing I did, as far as major custom stuff, which really there's not a lot of custom stuff. If you add the wheels, the gun, I added this motor, and to be honest with you, I have no idea where this motor came from. It's a metal motor. It was off a Hot Wheels car. I really wish I knew. I got to start paying more attention about where I strip stuff from, but it worked out pretty good. And then I put a piece of plastic on the back to kind of hide where it was sitting, and I put some fiberglass mesh over it. The headers, though, that was the last part of this project that I just couldn't figure out. Those came off of this Matchbox car. The headers were a separate piece, and it was actually a one piece that wrapped through in here. Actually, I cut them off. It was attached to these side pipes, so that kind of sat like that in between, and it worked out good. They were just the right size. They kind of finished off the project. Excuse me. So then it came to assembly and paint, and I like to paint everything separate, mainly because I don't have the most steady hand. I tend to shake a lot. You'd think I drink a lot, but I don't. So I painted the gun, I painted the black interior, and this, I'm going to call it a NOS tank, but it's all part of the black base that goes underneath. And the base itself, the wheels, and then the body and the motor all separate. And it worked out good because I ended up getting, finally, I'm kind of an idiot. I bought this Citadel base paint set, and I really liked the colors that were in it. I wish I would have known how much I liked it, because I would have bought a bigger kit instead of just this base paint set. But I was looking at the prices, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend that much money. Well, I ended up spending that much money anyways, because I liked it so much. I ended up getting the shade kit and the layer paint set. So, you know, I spent it anyway. So I recommend, if you guys buy 1 or 2 bottles, and if you like it, just buy the whole kit, bite the bullet, because you're going to end up doing it anyways. So what I used for this one is I used a flat black primer. So I primed the entire thing first, except for the wheels. And then the spots that I really wanted black, I went over with a Baden black. And then, let's see. In this part I kind of screwed up a little bit, but it kind of still looks pretty cool. I used Mephiston red, okay, for the actual base of the car. I didn't thin it out right, so you can kind of still see a little bit of the brush marks, but I actually kind of liked it because it was kind of very Gaslandish. You know, and in a post-apocalyptic world, I'm pretty sure you don't have a spray booth. So I'm going to go with that because it sounds good, and I screwed up, so seems legit. So that's what I did. I put 2 coats of Mephiston red on. For the gun, I used Balthasar gold, and I love this gold. I wish, I'm actually looking for shit just to paint, just because I like it so much. So I did the gun, I did the master cylinder cover, which I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be on these, and it looks like an air conditioner delete thing, I'm not sure. It's Hot Wheels and it's a future casting, so who the hell knows. But it worked out really well. Then, let's see, what else do I got? For the motor, because I wanted it all one shade, because the motor was more of a dye metal, like a Zamac from Hot Wheels, and then the headers are chrome, like a plastic chrome that came off the other car. I coated them all with a base coat of lead belcher. And after that, I did my little highlights with the red, and the belt pulley with black, inside of the scoop black. I went over it with Newland oil, and I really, really like this stuff. It just settles, it's just a wash, an oil wash, and it sets and highlights the darker areas. You just gotta be careful because it does tend to pool. So you just gotta almost use your brush as a sponge if you start to see. So you don't have to put a lot on your brush. You get more control if you don't just saturate your brush with any kind of wash, because it is very thin. I used another one, what's it called? Agrax Earthshade for the gold, and I also used that on the front part, which I tried to detail with blue, more of that gold, and then the lead belcher for the roll cage. So it came out pretty good. For the dust effect, I actually used this stuff. Nope, that's not it. I don't even know what I use this for. I don't know, I pulled it out for a reason, but anyways. I used Zandri dust, and what I did is I dry brushed it. I put a little bit on a paper towel, and then I just kind of almost wiped it off with my brush. Actually, I dipped my brush in, and then I used a paper towel to take the paint off and work it into the bristles, and just so there was just barely anything on there. You know, all the tread on the wheels. I glue these down. I just kind of hit the spots where dust would settle. You know, this really has a little bit of a ledge here for almost like a mud guard. So I just put some here. I put it on the frame. And you can't really see a lot of it, but I did put some underneath the wheels here and did the base. So overall, it came out pretty good. The last thing I did is I added some more, I don't think it was lead belcher, I'm not sure what it is. I grabbed some silver or gray and put it on a sponge and just kind of speckled it across, just to kind of give that chipped paint look. Oh, I know what I did. See? I don't even know what I'm doing. This Morning Fang Brown, this was my first attempt at rust, and I'm really going to push it on the next one. What I did is I put a little bit on a toothpick, and right along the front here, I just dabbed across all the rivets. Okay, so there was just a very, very tiny drop. And then I took a wet brush and just kind of dragged it down. So you probably can't see on the camera, but it does have like a rust streak look, like the rivets rusted and streaked down. And this is plastic. So definitely, I think it has a metal look. And I think I put Newland oil on this one as well, not the earth shade. So overall, it came out pretty good. That's that project. And I'm looking forward to my next two projects because I'm just really, it's like crack. I'm kind of addicted to these things. My next one is, get all these out here. I think I'd be more prepared. A 57 Chevy. And this was a gold track car, so it's just cheap plastic body. It does have a metal base. Okay, nothing fancy, but it's like, I think I got another track car here. They were gold and chrome. It was like a 5-car kit from 2007 or 6. I'm not really sure. So I just kind of scuffed it up real quick and white primed it just so I had something to work with. So what I did so far, and this is still the early stages of this project, but actually just started it last night, is I cut out the back. You got to be careful because this is plastic. So as you cut, what I did is I scored everything with a knife, just so it relieved some of the tension on the back because these are very flexible. So I cut that out, and then I put this corrugated plastic card. It's real thin. You can cut it with scissors as a base. So now. So now I have a base. And back to that cheap-ass Lego kit that I had bought, I get this machine gun turret, which articulates here, and this rotates. So I'm going to paint this up kind of cool. It's not to scale, so I've got to, deal with it because it's what I have. But that's pretty cool. I got the wheels from 2 different cars. These are both out of that Matchbox 5-car set. It's all off-road stuff. So I know a lot of people know this car because they're building it. But I don't like doing what other people are doing. Or I try not to. So the back wheels of this are the front wheels of this. And then the other car that comes with it is this Mustang. I took, all the 4 wheels are the same size on this. So I took one set of wheels, and those are the back ones. And what I did is I mounted these under the frame instead of in the frame because it wouldn't have fit. And it gives it the right stance. Excuse me. The last thing I was going to do is try to do something with an interior. But the way the posts are and the way everything is on this car, it's just really difficult to work with. So what I did is they get these tinted cheap plastic windshield. It's like a one-piece. So I'm going to leave that in there. What I did is I cut it up. Yep, there you go. Hit the camera, dumbass. I'm going to trim this up a little bit better, but I cut the back window out. So essentially, what I have is this. And I'm going to make some shocks. I've got some brass tubing that I use for axles. So I'm going to probably make a couple shocks. I like using steel if I can, or brass, or anything but plastic, but sometimes you don't have much of a choice. So essentially, tip that up a little bit. Yeah, you get that. And you'll be able to move the turret around so it can shoot forward, backwards, sideways, pretty much up and down, you name it, it can do it. And then I drilled the hole. Okay, I didn't do it on purpose, but when I was drilling out the post, because the base is cheap plastic and I'm used to dealing with metal, I drilled straight through. So this is going to be a place where I'm going to probably mount a skull or something. I don't know, I got to get creative, but I messed up. It does happen a lot. And then I just need to create something here, just a piece of plastic card to hide that. But this is going to be a great place I'll probably end up putting some wires or something that go from here to there, almost like a remote control. I got a bunch of, I'm an electrician by trade, so I've got a bunch of small 18, 22 gauge wire. So I'm just going to run like 3 wires from here into in here somewhere. And this I'm going to have to paint. Paint to look like steel, because it's way too much work and I'm kind of lazy to do too much with this. So, but anyways, that's the Gaslands stuff. So this is the recently completed, and this is my work in progress that I just started last night. So I'll be able to update this next week. And if you're so inclined, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. I do these, and I also do regular customs and wheel swap, stuff like that. I'm going to start getting a little bit better at recording as I go along, but because I'm still new to the Gaslands stuff, I tend to screw up a lot, and I don't have a ton of time to edit and splice together a week's worth of video, because I can only work on these, half an hour at a time. So, well, thank you very much, and I will catch you on the next one.